The Echo Room Part 2. Liam froze, his hand hovering over his phone. The footsteps outside were deliberate, slow, each one amplifying the dread twisting in his gut. The Echo Room's warnings thundered in his mind. He won't fight back. But they were wrong. He would fight. He grabbed the knife he'd tucked into his jacket earlier, clutching it so tightly his knuckles turned white. His breath came in shallow bursts as he moved toward the front door. The old floorboards betrayed his every step, groaning under his weight. The footsteps stopped. Liam's heart was pounding so loudly now that he feared it might drown out any other sounds. He reached the door and peered through the peephole. The porch light flickered, casting shadows across the figure standing outside. It was Michael. He hadn't seen his brother in 10 years, but there was no mistaking him. Michael's wiry frame, unkempt hair, and piercing eyes were just as Liam remembered, but something was off. Michael wasn't alone. Behind him, half hidden in the shadows, was another figure. A man in a black coat, his face obscured by the brim of a hat. Liam's stomach churned. Who was the second man? And why were they here together? Before he could decide what to do, Michael rapped on the door. 3 sharp knocks. "Liam," he called out, his voice calm, almost friendly. "I know you're in there. Open up. We need to talk." Liam didn't move. "Come on, little brother," Michael continued, his tone turning sharper. "I don't have all night." The man in the coat shifted, his movements deliberate. Liam's grip on the knife tightened. The Echo Room's warnings played on a loop in his mind. He knew letting them in was suicide, but he couldn't stay hidden forever. His phone was useless. There was no signal this deep in the woods, and calling the police wasn't an option. He had to think. Fast. Taking a deep breath, Liam backed away from the door, careful to keep his footsteps light. He needed to find an advantage, something that would give him the upper hand. The house was old, but it was full of hiding places. He crept toward the kitchen, where a back door led to the woods. If he could just slip out unnoticed, he might have a chance to escape. But as he reached the kitchen, he heard the unmistakable sound of glass breaking. They were in. Liam ducked behind the counter as the sound of heavy boots echoed through the house. "Check upstairs," Michael ordered, his voice carrying through the halls. "He's probably hiding." Liam peered out from behind the counter, catching a glimpse of the 2 intruders. Michael was holding a crowbar, while the man in the coat carried something far worse. A gun. His pulse quickened. He couldn't outrun a bullet. The 2 men split up, with Michael heading toward the stairs and the other man moving toward the study. Liam knew he had only seconds to act. He couldn't stay hidden forever, and confronting them head-on was suicide. Then he remembered the Echo Room. If the room could reveal future conversations, maybe it could give him an edge. He just needed to get there without being seen. Liam crawled across the kitchen floor, staying low. The knife in his hand felt impossibly small compared to the gun his pursuer carried. He slipped into the hallway, his heart hammering in his chest, and made his way toward the hidden door. The house was eerily silent now, aside from the occasional creak of footsteps upstairs. He reached the bookcase, shoved it aside, and slipped into the Echo Room. The door clicked shut behind him. The room greeted him with an oppressive silence. The peeling wallpaper seemed to close in around him, and the single light bulb flickered ominously. Liam stood in the center of the room, clutching the knife, and whispered, "Tell me what happens next." At first, there was nothing. Then the voices began. "He's in the room. Finish it." It was Michael's voice, sharp and commanding. "No witnesses." The man in the coat, Liam's breath caught in his throat. They knew about the Echo Room. They were coming for him. "Show me how," Liam pleaded, his voice cracking. "Show me how to stop them." The room responded. "The knife. Wait until he's close." The voice was his own. The door to the Echo Room rattled violently. "Liam!" Michael shouted, his voice muffled but furious. "Open this damn door." Liam backed into the corner, the knife trembling in his hand. The handle twisted and the door burst open. Michael stepped inside, his crowbar gleaming in the dim light. "There you are," Michael sneered, his eyes locking onto Liam. "You've been a hard man to find." Behind him, the man in the coat stood in the doorway, his gun raised. "Michael, listen to me," Liam said. his voice shaking. "You don't have to do this." Michael laughed, a cold, bitter sound. "Oh, but I do. You stole everything from me, Liam. The fame, the fortune. It should have been mine. And now I'm taking it back." He stepped closer, raising the crowbar. Time seemed to slow. Liam's mind raced as the echo room's words echoed in his head. "Wait until he's close." When Michael was just a step away, Liam lunged. The knife plunged into Michael's side, and his brother let out a choked gasp. Blood seeped through his shirt as he staggered backward, dropping the crowbar. The man in the coat raised his gun, but Liam was faster. He grabbed the crowbar and swung it with all his strength. The man crumpled to the floor, the gun skidding out of his reach. Liam stood trembling over the two men, his breath ragged. Michael was still alive, clutching his wound and glaring up at him. "This isn't over," Michael hissed. But Liam didn't need the echo room to know that wasn't true. By the time the police arrived the next morning, the echo room had gone silent. Liam told them everything. About the voices, the plot, the attack. They didn't believe him, of course. But the evidence was undeniable. The broken glass, the bloodstains, the weapons. Michael and his accomplice were taken into custody. And as Liam watched the patrol cars disappear down the winding road, he felt an odd sense of relief. The echo room had saved his life. But as he turned back to the house, he couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't finished with him yet. Somewhere, deep in the walls, the echoes were waiting.